People who lost their children, how'd you win them back? I was running late for my shift at the hospital when I saw him. My 8-year-old son Corbin standing outside the Shell station on 5th Street asking strangers for money. My hands started shaking so bad I almost crashed pulling into the parking lot. The divorce had been brutal. My ex-husband Joshua had better lawyers and somehow convinced the judge I was an unfit mother. They said I worked too many hours as a nurse to properly care for Corbin. Never mind that Joshua hadn't held a steady job in 3 years. But his new girlfriend Madeline testified that she'd be home full-time to watch him. The judge bought it and I got every other weekend visitation. That was 6 months ago. Now here was my baby approaching random people at a gas station at 7:30 in the morning when he should have been getting ready for school. I parked behind the dumpsters where he wouldn't see me right away. Corbin was wearing the same Spider-Man shirt I'd bought him last Christmas, but it looked dirty and too small now. He walked up to an older man pumping gas, and I could hear him asking for help. The man shook his head and Corbin moved to the next car. My heart was breaking, but I needed to understand what was happening. I put on my sunglasses and walked over pretending to check my tires. When Corbin saw me, his whole face lit up. "Mommy, what are you doing here?" I knelt down and hugged him tight. He smelled like he hadn't had a bath in days. "Baby, what are you doing? Why aren't you at home?" His face got serious like he was about to share a big secret. "Madeline needs money for her medicine. Dad said I'm really good at asking people for help because I'm cute." My stomach turned. "What kind of medicine, sweetie?" "I don't know, but she gets really sick without it. She shakes and cries and throws up. Dad says if I can get $20, she'll feel better." I pulled out my wallet and gave him $40. I wanted to grab him and drive away, but I knew that would make things worse legally. "Here, baby. Tell Madeline I hope she feels better." Corbin hugged me again and ran off. I followed him in my car, staying far enough back that he wouldn't notice. Instead of going home, he walked 6 blocks to the sketchy part of downtown. I watched him turn into an alley between the old movie theater and the pawn shop. My hands were shaking as I grabbed my phone and started recording. Corbin stood at the end of the alley while a man in a hoodie counted the money. Then the man handed something small to Corbin, who shoved it in his pocket and ran back toward home. I sat in my car for 20 minutes just crying. My ex was using our son to buy drugs. Not just using drugs around him, but actually making him do the drug runs. I'd been recording everything on my phone, but I needed more proof. I called in sick to work and spent the rest of the day sitting in that parking lot. Around noon, Joshua's beat-up Camaro pulled up to the same alley. Madeline was in the passenger seat looking rough. Corbin wasn't with him this time. I recorded Joshua going into the alley and coming back out 5 minutes later. For the next 2 weeks, I documented everything. I bought a better camera from Best Buy and learned how to do timestamp videos. Every morning, Corbin was at that gas station. Sometimes the Shell station, sometimes the Exxon down the street. I recorded him asking for money, saying the same story about Madeline's medicine. I followed him to 3 different drug deals, always staying far enough away to be safe. The worst part was seeing how tired he looked. One morning, he fell asleep standing up against the gas pump. Another time, I saw him counting change from his pockets, adding it to what strangers had given him. He was so worried about not having enough. I took everything to my lawyer, who immediately filed an emergency custody motion. The evidence was overwhelming. 14 videos of Corbin at gas stations, 8 videos of him in drug alleys, 4 videos of Joshua and Madeline meeting dealers. Plus, I'd kept every text where Joshua claimed Corbin was doing great and loves his new school during times I had him on video begging for drug money. The emergency hearing happened 3 days later. Joshua showed up in a wrinkled suit looking confused. Madeline wasn't there. The judge watched the first video in complete silence. By the 3rd video, his face was red with anger. "Mr. Andrews, you've been using your 8-year-old son to purchase illegal drugs?" The judge didn't wait for an answer. "Custody is immediately transferred to the mother. You're lucky I'm not having you arrested right now." Joshua tried to argue that it was all a misunderstanding, but the judge cut him off. "I've seen enough. Full custody to the mother. Supervised visitation only if and when you complete rehab." That night, Corbin slept in his old room at my apartment. He'd lost weight and had nightmares, but he was safe. While tucking him in, he whispered, "I missed you, Mommy," and I held him until he fell asleep.